What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is December 20th of 2017. Well, folks, it's time for another daily update here on the DataDash channel. Today, we've got a few different things to talk about. First and foremost, we're going to be taking a look at market valuations as well as doing some technical analysis on the market leaders. Along with this as well, though, we have some different events and price action to look at comparative to a lot of big news headlines. First and foremost, Bitcoin Cash getting listed on Coinbase. I'm going to be giving my opinion on that and the price action as well. Along with that, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. Some people have been curious as to whether or not I think we're going to get a correction, if we're getting a full-scale bear market, or if we're going to rebound back up and test 20,000. I'll be talking about that later. Litecoin as well on fearful watch as Charlie Lee sells his Litecoin position. I'm going to be giving my opinion on that and really trying to kind of take a level-headed approach to it. But along with this as well, last but not least, one of the players out there in the cryptocurrency space has finally come onto Binance, and it's been something that I've been watching and waiting to invest in, and I finally got the chance to buy my first piece today. It's an enterprise solution that I've been watching for some time based in South Korea. All right, so we got a lot to talk about today, so let's go ahead and jump into the video. First and foremost, let's go ahead here and take a look at market valuations. We're sitting around $616 billion, a little bit below the highs of yesterday, around $642 billion. Excuse me. I think this is generally what we're kind of expecting to see after a complete bull run in altcoins and Bitcoin. It's understandable to see a little bit of correction here, guys. Altcoins and Bitcoin have been doing fantastic over these past few weeks. We've been seeing double or triple digit gains in market leaders, and it's understandable to see some kind of correction and see that we might have a little bit further to go rather than these lows down here. So I think we could very well, see a good few, dozens of billions of dollars in valuation cut off the market, and then it would give us a nice bit of room to breathe and move higher. So personally, I'll be talking a little bit more about that later as we go through and look at Bitcoin, because that's really going to lead the market. But first and foremost, I've got to talk about Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash rallying up off the awesome news that it got listed on Coinbase. Now, a lot of you have been asking about my opinion on this. Do I think that this is the going to lead to the second cashing? And we'll take a look at the price action in a little bit. But no, I don't think this is going to lead to the second cashing. However, or at least the second attempt of it. But I will say that nonetheless, this is awesome that Coinbase is doing this. I know a lot of you are like, well, Nick, you're not the biggest fan of Bitcoin Cash. Why is that? Well, first and foremost, it was a viable choice for the fourth cryptocurrency. We talked about, it was pretty obvious they were going to list it. They said in January they were going to. But it's first and foremost, it's awesome to see Coinbase delivering ahead of schedule. That's good. That's a great sign. If only they could do that with their customer service. Second off, it's awesome to see them offer Bitcoin Cash, because Bitcoin Cash, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of it or any forked currencies, I have my own issues with Bitcoin as well. So I think that having these currencies compete and having both options to investors, I think is great. And along with that, getting Bitcoin Cash out to those who are holding Bitcoin on Coinbase during the time of the fork, they should get their Bitcoin Cash and they should be able to trade it. So that's good. So no argument there. Good news for Bitcoin Cash. You can see how it led to the price riding up to highs. Now I want to explain this as well. A lot of you on the stream were very confused about this last night in regards to Bitcoin Cash is at 9,000. Nick, what's happening? Is it the cashing? No, it's not. The reason why this happened was because you had practically no bid and ask orders on the order book. And because of that, if there's no ask orders, meaning sellers who have orders placed that aren't just selling at market price, if you have a seller selling even a fraction of Bitcoin Cash at 8,000 and the market price is at 3,000, you can literally push up the price like that. And you really had a thin bid and ask wall putting all these different orders in. So you had really excessive volatility in the price action. And that's what leads to these ridiculous 200% gains in 3 minutes. It was obviously not justified or real. So let's go ahead here and take a look at Bitcoin Cash. A lot of you are curious as to whether or not I think this is going to go through, again, like I said, the cashing or the second attempt at the cashing. And what's nice is that it is holding above its previous highs from last night when we were talking about it. And I think very much we could see it tested. It's not so much that I don't think it's going to happen. It's more of whether or not you can get above 25 million Satoshis, which means it's a quarter of a Bitcoin's valuation. But even if it can do that, I think we could very well see it try to pull the same attempt because of one factor. You've got Korean volume coming in, BitThumb. You've got if we come down here, Corbit and Coin1 together, these Korean exchanges are making up around at least 20% of the volume, and that could very well not only increase, but shows that Korean investors, which led to the previous run up, could also lead to it again. We'll let you all know though, this is more of my point. I'm not going to be trading this much like I didn't in the past. It's not because I'm just obviously trying to shut myself out of a great opportunity. But personally for me, I don't like to take this kind of risk. Again, I don't buy high. I don't buy high. I buy low. I sell high. Okay? And along with this as well, we saw how short-lived this was, guys. I don't try to trade in any sense that risky, because who's to say that it can't start selling like that over here? Again, I just genuinely do not like to play with these kind of run-ups. It's just not my game. And that's not arguing anything fundamentally against Bitcoin Cash. Could very well gain in valuation compared to Bitcoin. Not arguing against that. But I would like to see it happen over a longer term and through real adoption rather than just price pushing. Just my opinion. It's way too much of a valuation if we were to get back up here for me to feel comfortable putting my money in Bitcoin Cash, okay? So, just my opinion. All right, so let's go ahead here and take a look at Bitcoin. A lot of people are curious, again, like I said, whether or not we're going to get a much larger scale correction, like a bear market, or if we're going to break to new lows, or if we're going to retest this area and go to highs. Well, I don't have a set opinion on the market, guys, as I usually don't, and the reason being is because that's not how a smart trader or investor plays. You want to set different indicators to watch for, to send different signals in the market, because the market can flip its opinion in a second. So you want to have two different game plans. What's my game plan? My game plan is to watch what happens here at 16,000. It's a big even level. It's where we found support 2 times in the past. And if we break through here, I personally think we're going to see a correction. I think we're going to see a correction if we break and close below 16,000 down to the 50-day. Now, that doesn't mean all the way down here to 12,000. I think we're looking for around 13,500 to 14,000 for this correction. I think it would be a great correction for Bitcoin. It would be an awesome kind of cool down in the market, maybe even give altcoins a little bit of room to continue running if it doesn't sell too quick. But for now, I think that's what you're going to see is a correction down there. It'll be healthy for Bitcoin. We'll have contact, hopefully, with the 50-day, and it will let Bitcoin continue to ride. I mean, think about it, guys. We have extended quite far away from the moving averages. The last time we touched the 50-day was down here in early November. It would be great for Bitcoin to do that. And that doesn't mean we're going to enter a full-scale bear market and stuff. We could very well move back up and continue higher. So we'll have to see. It depends on whether or not the volume really starts pouring in. Because right now, volume's looking fine. It's nothing too scary or panicky. But if we do start getting candles like this up here, where it's in the 40 to 50,000 range on some exchanges, that might be a cause for concern. But the other way to play it as well is if we get a bounce here off 16K, which we could very well have. If that's the case, if we get a strong, healthy bounce off there, we could be going towards testing the highs, and this little short-term correction could be over. And I think we'll go and retest for 20,000. So, again, watch that level, guys. Play like a smart trader. Don't be biased. Play off the indicators. The big evens matter. 16,000 is what I'm looking at, okay? So, again, you got to find out your own indicators, guys. It's not a foolproof thing, but that's what I'm watching for, if you want my opinion. And we can see Bitcoin volatility is hanging pretty high right now. I think we could possibly test back up to these ranges, back to what we saw in August. Could very well see it if we get a full-scale correction. But again, it would be healthy for Bitcoin. If it went to 13,500 to 14,000, you're getting anywhere from around like a 28 to 35% correction in the market from its highs, depending on what exchange you're looking at. And that's healthy. That's good. So hoping it has a nice little correction and we can possibly pack up some more Bitcoin at the 50-day. That's what I'm looking for. All right, next up, the thing that's on a lot of people's minds, I want to talk real quick about this, and a lot of people have been curious about Litecoin, seeing as this is, of course, one of the market leaders. We'll go back and do some technical price action. But I do want to talk about this because people are very curious about, what ramifications this has. So Charlie Lee, Litecoin being the 5th biggest cryptocurrency, the founder, Charlie Lee, went out and announced yesterday on Twitter that he sold his position in Litecoin. Now, this has caused some people to panic, some people to hate Charlie Lee, some people to think, oh, this is just terrible. This means that he's got insider information that this is going to sell, and oh, it's not going to be worth anything tomorrow. Why was I a long-term hodler? Guys, Charlie Lee not only has every right to sell his Litecoin, especially after a 9,300% rally in the past 12 months. That's huge. But along with that, Charlie Lee isn't getting out of Litecoin because he doesn't believe in it. It's for personal reasons. And he believes that it's a conflict of interest for him to be such a large public figure and hold his own cryptocurrency. Now, not only is that a very humbling thing to hear, but one thing I gotta say is that the immense amount of people in the Litecoin community who are attacking him for this, that's quite childish. Not only is he taking a very mature step, and he has every right to lock in profits at these levels if he wants to, if that's his objective, I don't care. But along with that as well, it doesn't seem like he's doing it for profit reasons, because he said that he's already going to be donating 100% of revenue to the Litecoin Foundation to help expand Litecoin. That's awesome. So it seems like he still is maintaining, like he said in 1,000 replies on Twitter, that he's still maintaining his incentive for Litecoin in this regard. So I don't know. Either way, guys, again, he's been with the project for years. I don't think he's going to leave in it overnight. And I bet he'd love to possibly buy Litecoin in the future when things are a little more stable. But right now, these markets are so exciting. Litecoin just moved from, I think, $80 all the way up to $350. It's been a huge run up. And again, I think he has every right to do what he wants. So I don't think we should be flipping out. I don't think we should be, panicking in regards to Litecoin. I think it's going to do just fine. All right, so let's go ahead here. Let's go back to what we should have looked at earlier. Ethereum kind of doing, actually, let me get the proper exchange here. Let's get Bittrex going on here. What we're looking for with Ethereum to see if it can pass 100. We've seen it obviously get above 50 on the 50-day. That's good, but we want to see it test this 100-day moving average. I think it's honestly going to get shot down, find support on the 50, and bounce back up. My personal opinion, Ethereum's had a great run up over the past few days, but with a continued Bitcoin correction, we might see this blow through the 100-day. Very well see it. So that's my indicator. Looking for that. Not overbought, not oversold. Hanging in there fine. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at Litecoin here. Litecoin, it's doing fine. Look, the whole Charlie Lee thing didn't lead to a massive sell-off. No serious volume. Hanging around the highs. I just personally, guys, again, I like that we got a little bit of a correction in it. To be fair, we did. We got it down to about 1,400,000 Satoshis. Still don't think I want to be trading at these levels. Of course, it doesn't load the right exchange. But this generally is a level up here. Anywhere from 18 million to 22 million Satoshis is usually a level of where Litecoin reaches its highs. We could see Litecoin continue higher, but I want to see it have a nice cool down and hold for a while at a corrected level. That's what I want personally, not just hanging around the highs. Alrighty, let's take a look at Ripple here. Ripple currently still getting weighed down by the 200-day. However, I like the support on the 100-day, and we might be able to get a breakout through here. And if that's the case, this could be very good for Ripple, but still not making any trades after a dramatic jump as it's seen. Let's take one last look here at IOTA. IOTA is hanging well. We did a very good call on this trade here in regards to IOTA. I know I told you all I luckily got in on the dip on this, and this had a very fantastic run up. So for those of you who went long on IOTA, good for you. Definitely a really good rally. Definitely paid off nicely. So these are the market leaders, guys. Markets are looking good. We can take, actually one thing I didn't look at was ADA. We'll take a look at Cardano as well. One last look here. Cardano is still holding a little bit overextended. I'm waiting for a correction on this one. Yeah, I love the project nonetheless, but this was the area to add on Cardano personally. Alrighty, so what am I looking at inside the market right now? Well, right now, I recently realized, actually, I think last night was when I first kind of noticed the symbol, and I was like, wait, is that what I think it is? And it turns out that Icon, the not too far ago, South Korean ICO that we had covered on the channel a while back, has launched onto finally a respectable exchange, Binance, and it's starting to get some actual liquidity trading it. So outside of being listed on OKX and HitBTC, Icon is a South Korean cryptocurrency, and Icon has a lot of user adoption. There's a lot of great things to be optimistic about. So I'm going to go through the list here of things as to why I'm optimistic on Icon. First and foremost, it was the first ever South Korean ICO. Huge news. Just being the first South Korean ICO is a massive upside for Icon, first and foremost. But it wasn't some phony ICO. They have adoption from a variety of different universities, hospitals, different securities firms, all kinds of different institutions that are using Icon. Now, if you haven't already guessed it with all those different institutions using it, Icon is an enterprise solution cryptocurrency. So it's competing with NEO, with EOS, with Ethereum, with a variety of the other market leaders. Now, if that doesn't sound like the perfect whirlwind, of course, this is my opinion. If those three factors don't sound like the perfect whirlwind to push this higher, I don't know what will. It's currently right now sitting around. They've been trying to get the CoinMarketCap isn't always consistent, but they've been trying to get the valuation plugged in. They did have it for literally a few moments. It's hanging around $400 million in valuation, if you consider the circulating supply. So if we think about it here, we see IOTA, Cardano, EOS, Quantum, and NEO all gaining double-digit, if not triple-digit gains over these past few days because they're all one thing. They all share one thing in common. That's enterprise. They're enterprise solutions. So with these, different types of cryptocurrencies doubling or tripling in value over the past few days, we have to ask ourselves the question: could Icon do the exact same? I think personally it could at least double at these levels to 800 million. It has much more adoption than most other cryptocurrency projects out there. It's based in South Korea, and if it gets listed on any extra exchanges, I would not be surprised if it gets listed on BitHum or a few other ones because of the support, the sense of South Korean traders wanting to adopt a South Korean ICO. Makes sense to me. But again, we'll have to give it time. And again, you got to assess your risk level here as to whether or not you'd want to trade it. It does have a relatively high valuation on the open, but we've also seen that with Cardano. And Cardano is now worth tens of billions of dollars. So I think Icon could definitely move up from here. And if you think that this could get into the range of Quantum and NEO at its current valuation, that would mean that it could go 10x from here because it's around $400 million in valuation. If it goes 10 or 15x, you can get in this range of other ones up here. And Icon's, like I said, it's been around, the ICO launched a while ago. And we can see that it's just been waiting for a genuine exchange to list this. You can see there's so much volatility because there's no volume. And now it's able to be traded on Binance. So good news for Icon. I think it's going to do well. As I've already told you all, went long on it. I sent out an alert out to the trading group. And I think that it's going to do quite well. So, love to hear what you all think about Icon. Leave a comment down below if you guys are interested in it. And I'd also like to hear what you all think about the whole Charlie Lee thing. Do you think it's a conflict of interest that he's selling his Litecoin? Also, what do you guys think about Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash? I know that, okay, that's probably an argument I shouldn't be bringing up. But do you all think that we're going to have the second attempt at the cashing? I'd like to hear down in the comments down below. But anyways, everyone, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Stay tuned.